Too many people step into Forex with the wrong mindset. They don't see it as a business. They treat it like a casino. They chase signals, throw in big lot sizes, and hope for a jackpot. That's not trading, that's gambling. And gamblers always lose. If you want to survive in this market, if you want to grow, you must stop gambling and start trading like a warrior. Point 1T, gambling mindset versus warrior mindset. The difference between a gambling trader and a warrior trader starts with mindset. A gambling trader is obsessed with quick money. They log into their account every morning thinking, how fast can I double this balance? They aren't focused on strategy or survival. They're addicted to the thrill of chasing wins. Every trade becomes a lottery ticket and every loss sends them spiraling into revenge trading. But a warrior trader, their mindset is completely different. A warrior doesn't step into the market seeking luck. They step in with preparation. They know that trading isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about survival, patience, and consistency. A warrior isn't asking, how much can I make today? They're asking, how long can I survive to win the bigger war? Gamblers place oversized trades, ignore stop losses, and let emotions dictate their actions. Warriors risk small, protect capital, and think long-term. Gamblers are slaves to greed and fear. Where warriors are disciplined, calm, and focused. In the Forex market, the gambler gets chewed up and spit out because the market punishes recklessness. The warrior, however, lives to fight another day because they understand that trading is not about winning every battle. It's about surviving long enough to win the war. That's the difference. You can gamble and lose everything fast, or you can build a warrior mindset and give yourself the only chance to truly win. Point 2, the market is a battlefield. Every time you open your trading platform, understand this, you're stepping onto a battlefield. The Forex market is not a friendly place, it's a war zone. And in this war, you're not up against amateurs like yourself. You're going against hedge funds with billions in liquidity, central banks like the Bank of England and the Federal Reserve, algorithms that can execute trades in milliseconds. Now ask yourself, what chance does a gambler have on this battlefield? A gambler shows up with no strategy, no plan, and no discipline. They over-leverage, they chase signals, and they hope the market goes their way. That's like walking into a war with no armor, no training, and no weapon. You will be crushed instantly. But the warrior respects the battlefield. They study it. They prepare for volatility. They know when high-impact events are coming, when inflation data will be released, when the Bank of England will speak, when London session liquidity is about to spike. The warrior doesn't charge blindly. They wait for the right moment, then strike with precision. And here's the truth, the market rewards warriors. Not because they win every battle, but because they survive long enough to fight again. They take small, controlled losses, but they live to see the next setup. The gambler, meanwhile, blows their account in a single battle and never comes back. The Forex market is a battlefield. You either show up as a gambler and get slaughtered, or you show up as a warrior and fight smart. The choice is yours. Point 3D discipline is your armor on the battlefield of Forex. Every trader needs protection. For a warrior, that protection isn't luck or signals, it's discipline. Discipline is the armor that keeps you alive when the market turns against you. Look at how a gambler trades. They throw 20%, 30%, sometimes even 50% of their account on one position. They refuse to use stop losses because they believe the market will turn in their favor. And when it doesn't, the market slices through them like paper. That's not bravery, that's recklessness. A warrior, on the other hand, always wears armor. Their discipline protects them from emotional decisions. They risk only 1-2% per trade. They place stop losses without hesitation. They follow their trading plan no matter how tempting it is to break the rules. Discipline keeps them standing even after a losing streak because no single battle can wipe them out. And this is where most traders fail. They think discipline is optional. They believe they can get away with gambling just this once. But the market doesn't forgive. The moment you take off your armor, you're exposed, and that's when the market delivers the fatal blow. Discipline may not feel exciting. It won't give you huge wins overnight, but it gives you something far more important, survival. And survival is the only path to growth. So remember this, without discipline, you're naked in a battlefield. With discipline, you're armored, protected, and ready to outlast everyone else. Point 4a, patience is your weapon in trading. Patience is not weakness. It is your greatest weapon. And like any weapon, it must be sharpened, practiced, and used with precision. A gambler has no patience. The moment they open their charts, they're itching to trade. They chase every signal, every tiny move, jumping into setups without thought. They confuse activity with progress, but in reality, all they're doing is bleeding their account to death. This is the gambler's curse, impatience. But a warrior understands that patience is the sharpest blade. They know that not every candle, not every setup deserves action. They can wait for hours, even days, for the right trade to appear. And when it does, they strike with confidence because they know they've prepared for that exact moment. Think about a sniper on a battlefield. He doesn't fire at every shadow. He waits, breathing steady, finger on the trigger until the target is clear. Then, one shot, one kill. That's how warriors trade. They stalk the market. They wait for the high probability setups, the moments when their edge is strongest. Patience also protects psychology. A gambler is drained, anxious, and stressed because they're always in the market. A warrior stays calm, rested, clear-headed because they know when to sit out. They treat waiting as part of the process, not as wasted time. In the UK Forex market, where volatility can punish reckless traders instantly, patience is what separates survivors from casualties. The gambler swings wildly until they fall. The warrior waits, then cuts clean with precision. Patience isn't passive, it's deadly. Point 5e, psychology wins the war in Forex. The greatest battles aren't on the charts, they're inside your mind. Psychology is the true war, and it's where most traders are defeated long before their account balance hits zero. A gambler's psychology is weak. They're controlled by fear and greed. When they win, they feel invincible and start increasing lot sizes recklessly. When they lose, they panic, double down, and chase revenge trades. Their emotions swing with every candle, and eventually that emotional chaos destroys them. But a warrior has trained their psychology. They understand that losses are part of the journey. They don't panic when a trade goes red because their risk is controlled. They don't get cocky after a win because they know the market can humble anyone in seconds. Their mindset is steady, calm, and focused. Think about this. Two traders can use the exact same strategy, the exact same signals, and the exact same tools, but the one with stronger psychology will always come out on top. Why? Because when the pressure hits, when the market spikes unexpectedly, the weak-minded trader breaks while the disciplined trader holds steady. Psychology is the war within. It's the ability to control yourself when greed whispers, go bigger. It's the strength to stay calm when fear screams, close it now. It's the discipline to follow your plan even when emotions tempt you to break the rules. In the end, it's not the market that destroys most traders, it's their own mind. The warrior knows this. That's why they train daily, sharpening not just their strategy but their psychology. Because once you win the battle within, the market has no power over you. Point 6e, warriors think long term. The final difference between gamblers and warriors is how they see time. A gambler thinks only about today. They want a quick profit, a fast win, jackpot that will change everything overnight. That short-term thinking is what destroys them because it pushes them into reckless trades, oversized positions, and constant chasing. A warrior thinks differently. A warrior knows that trading is not a sprint, it's a marathon. They don't measure success by one trade or even 1 week. They measure it by months, years, and growth over time. That perspective changes everything. When a gambler loses, they panic because they've tied their entire future to a single outcome. But when a warrior loses, they shrug it off because they know one trade means nothing in the long run. They've planned for losses. They've protected their capital. They understand that the goal is survival, not instant riches. This long-term vision also powers compounding. A gambler might double their account once, but then lose it all chasing the next easy win. A warrior, on the other hand, compounds slowly, 1 cent here, 2% there, stacking small, consistent gains until their account grows steadily, safely, and permanently. Think of it like building a fortress. A gambler throws up a tent, flimsy and fast, hoping it holds. A warrior lays brick after brick, slowly and carefully, building something that lasts. In the UK Forex market, where volatility can wipe out the impatient in seconds, only long-term thinkers survive. The gamblers fade away, But the warriors remain. That's the truth. If you want to win in Forex, stop thinking like a gambler chasing today's prize. Start thinking like a warrior building for tomorrow's empire.